Welcome, everybody, to the Skibby Wiffle Ball League podcast. I am Bryan Benware, your host, and I am joined tonight by two-time MVP Spencer Bogad and National Pitcher of the Year, Cameron Smith. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Yep, me too. Just another day. Get to talk about whiffs. I'm happy.
For sure. And this is our podcast is presented by 1356 Public House, our new presenting sponsor for the SWBL. If you get a chance, get over there to Big Ben and 141, give them some of your patronage. They've got great drink specials, great menus, and we're really excited to have them as a presenting sponsor this year. So tonight we're going to be talking about the national scene, or at least not just NWLA, but all the other leagues. And we've got two of our guys who play in a ton of leagues, tons of leagues. And so we're going to kind of touch on that. We are going to talk about a little bit of the news around the SWBL and free agency. But as that kind of continues to transition, we'll just kind of hit on that as we go. We're also going to get into our blind question segment, as we talked about last time. But just to kind of refresh you guys, if you hadn't had a chance to listen to our most recent podcast, we are sort of rebranding for season 20, and we are going to be trying to put out more and more podcasts this year than we've ever done before. So this is technically episode 1 of 2022, though we did record our first episode right before the holidays, so technically episode 2. So anyway, with all that said, let's get into it, guys. So free agency is the big topic right now, and we've had a lot of movement in the past couple of weeks. Any initial thoughts, any surprises, anything comes to mind of the news that you guys have seen?
I thought, with the White Sox making some early moves, John Callaway really solidified his roster with the addition of his friends, childhood friends, Jackson Crosley and Mr. Cornell, Derek Cornell, it is. And then adding a winning player that can kind of do it all, like Ty Butler, who hasn't pitched in a couple years, but he can pitch, he can hit, he can field, kind of can do it all. He's a solid player to fill out a roster. So I like what they did. A couple other teams adding players too. I think all around, there haven't been too many surprises for me so far.
Yeah. Cam,
I'm a big fan of the Jimmy Stout signing to the Astros. That's going to be fun for us. I mean, he's going to be a great fit. I mean, I talk to him kind of regularly, just throughout the year. We talk about wrestling and all kinds of different stuff. So that's going to be a huge addition to our team. So I'm excited for that.
Absolutely.
And good to see that Jeremy Worrell got a spot too. I think that'll be fun watching him pitch with the Expos.
Yeah, and I think they really needed another pitcher, potentially losing Brett. He hasn't signed anywhere yet, but I didn't know what answers they were going to have for kind of, in a sense, a rebuild. I mean, they have Jimmy on contract, but that's it right now. So getting Jeremy's solid bat, great number 2 pitcher for him. So I thought that was a great move too.
And I think even to add on that, I think he could potentially add in summer league. Jeremy Worrell was a hell of a hitter. He was on my team. He's been on my team the last 2 years. I don't know what it is during the summer, but that boy, he hits very well. So he actually could be a surprise, benefit to their offense too. Brett used to be a premier hitter. He's still okay, but he'd admit himself that his hitting stats have kind of dropped a little bit. Jeremy could pick some of that up for them too. So kind of a 1-2 punch with that signing.
Yeah, maybe he does better in hot weather. Maybe they just need to root for 95 degrees all weekend or something.
Maybe he's just a good captain. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, those actually were the first 2 topics I wanted to bring up, the White Sox and then the signing of Jeremy Worrell. Jimmy Stout was mentioned. So there are other teams, though, that have been really quiet. Actually, a majority of the league has been pretty quiet. We haven't seen anything from the Yankees. The Marlins haven't had anything pop up. The Rockies still haven't signed any of their team back, though we all assume they will at some point. The A's still have Rookie of the Year Chris Borback out there. Now he's an unrestricted free agent, so anybody can go after him. Paul Castellano still hasn't been re-signed. And then the Twins, Spencer, you're a free agent right now. I don't know if you want to tell the audience, are you wanting to, dip your toe in another team's water, or are you just kind of waiting to see what happens?
I'm always willing to listen to any offers that are out there. I like where the Twins are. They have a really good team chemistry. But throughout my history of being in the SWBL, I've always signed 1-year contracts. I feel like people really play at their best when they're on 1-year deals. It's kind of a show it or get out type of thing. So, I haven't really heard from the Twins management, that being Chris, since this end of the season. So it's kind of crickets, just kind of waiting to see if what the offer is that comes across the table. And, in the meantime, if something gets thrown my way, definitely have to think about it. So
well, you heard it here, folks. If you're interested in the services of Spencer Bogad, throw a contract his way and he may think about it.
We'll see.
So
definitely will read anything that comes my way.
Okay. Read anything. So
Pretty much.
let's see what Chris does. I mean, like I said, he still has other players too, though. I mean, Will isn't signed, Corey McCarthy isn't signed. And you'd think that he would have signed, the previous 2 MVPs by now, but especially Corey after the year he had last year. So Corey's got to be the priority in my opinion for Chris. So maybe they're talking and then he'll come talk to me, but I haven't heard from Chris. So we'll see. I think Chris is probably pretty confident either way. He'll be able to put together a pretty good team.
Sure.
Another thing that's going on, guys, right now, if you're not following along on social media, but our top 20 is out there, and we are counting down the top 20 players going into season 20. We've had a couple notable names, maybe that were lower than previous years. Have you guys got any takes on any of the things? I'll go first. We had one graphic was what do you call it whenever they get a vote but they don't make the top 20,
just missed the cut.
Honorable mention.
There was a group of them, and I don't know, maybe I just thought of this whole thing wrong, but I thought we were voting almost like the NFL does, where it was like, what did you think, who were the top 20 players from season 19? And there were guys on the list, like PG was on the list as an honorable mention. He got a vote, but he didn't play last year, so I was a little confused by that. What were your takes? Did you guys vote in the top 20?
So Cam, I'm just going to button from you go first here. So I have voted every year in this, being a part of the front office, and Sam is the brainchild of this, ranking system, and his instructions basically are rank however you see fit. So some people rank based on what happened last year. Some people rank based off the last 3 years. Some people rank off how they think next year's going to go. So it's kind of a happy mix of all sorts of different viewpoints. I don't know if you could really put a stamp on, if, Will Rath was number 15 today, does that mean he's the 15th best player in the league? Well, according to everyone that voted, that's where he fell, but everyone's got different standards. So I don't know. I think you could probably do a plus or minus 3 for each spot. If you're voted 15th, maybe you're 12th, maybe you're 18th. So you're probably somewhere in between. Mm-hmm. So
Cam, you got any thoughts? You were ranked 16th this year.
Yeah, a little fall, but I'll be back. Don't worry. But no, I kind of agree with Spencer. I think that, what I took, because I did vote as well, and I took into account, everything I've seen from the past couple of years and also summer league. So yeah, not necessarily just from last year, but kind of overall of what I think the top 20 of the actual player list is.
Okay.
Right. And I kind of do like 75% of my vote is based off last year, and then 25% is based off like the last 3 years. Like, to me, if you're a pretty solid player over the last 3 years and last year kind of had a down year, I don't really hold that against it. You know what I mean? So like a player like Edlow, who's on my team, who's usually a pretty solid player, he had a pretty bad batting average last year. He dropped in the rankings a little bit. I would have ranked him higher, I think, than other people because I play with him. He's on my team. I know what he can do. I know what he did in the playoffs, which don't show in the rankings. He was clutch in the playoffs every game. So, and you can take it however you want. That's kind of the beauty of it. So there were like PG. I agree. I mean, if he plays last year, he's probably a top 10 player, right? So, but I don't know if all the voters knew he was playing or what the deal was, or, I'm not sure. So
interesting takes. I just thought I'd get your guys' opinion just because some have been surprising. Yeah. Edlow being at 20, he made the cut, but being a lot lower than he has been. It was interesting to hear kind of the way you think about your rankings and with the history for you, Spencer, and then looking at past, but also a little bit of what you think is going to come, Cam. Where I was solely on just what happened last season. It's interesting to hear a little bit of the voting mindsets. You could also vote and just put yourself number one, whether you had 2 at bats or whatever you want. If you led the league in slugging, and
it'd be
average,
interesting. How the baseball, sorry to cut you off. It'd be interesting if, the Baseball Writers Association, they released their ballots. I think it'd be interesting after all the votes are counted, if Sam released all the ballots, because I feel like there'd probably be some ballot stuffing in there from a couple guys.
I mean, can you imagine the rivalries and the trash talk that could go on and from that? Be great.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, let's move on, guys. Let's talk about the NWA tournament. Now, if you don't know, we field a team every year for the NWA tournament, which is National Wiffle Ball League. And we've had a lot of success. We finished second twice. We've never won it. Had a bit of a down year this past year, finished 7th. But talk to me a little bit about the tournament, overall impressions, things you might have done differently, any new bonds, friendships. A lot of the guys that we've had come from out of town to play in the SWBLA have been relationships we built at this tournament in the past. And so I'm just interested, as somebody who's never gone, and a lot of our league has never been there, just what's your impression? Why do you love that tournament? Why do you guys consistently go and represent the SWBLA? SWBL.
Go ahead, Cam.
For me, I love the competition. There's no prize. There's nothing really besides a cup, but it's fun. I love the competition. I want to win. And, being a part of this team for the past, 3 years now, we haven't had the results that, I felt like I expected, seeing them finish top 2 finishes before I got there. I was like, oh, okay, I can come and I can bring this team to a championship. And, the records haven't shown, like where we placed, haven't shown how well we've actually played the past 3 years, but we are like right there, like we're right on the cusp. And I think that's like another big reason why we keep coming back, is because we know that we're right there. We're one pitch, one little thing from happening away from making a deep run. I mean, this year 3 of our 4 losses came to teams that finished in the top 3 or top 4, and one of those teams won. So like, and there were games that we were like very, very close in. We could have won each game. I mean, we had a lead against HRL, but we had 2 games that went 12 and 11 innings, and that kind of killed our arms. And we closed those games out early, and which I feel like we played better in both of those games. We won one of them, but we get those games closed out early and save our arms, we could definitely make a run. And I think we're looking to do that this year.
Yeah. Well, and for those of you that don't know, the NWA tournament is a fast pitch tournament. So talking about the depth of arms and how much strain that does put on your arms. I mean, Spencer, can you talk about how the depth of pitching, how much of a role that plays in the construction of the winning teams and success?
Yeah. I was actually going to say that every year we're one pitcher away. It's so important. I mean, the teams that usually win are the ones that save their 1 and 2 pitchers for Sunday. The teams that win don't have to pitch their best 2 on Saturday. The way that this tournament works is you have round robin, and then you play 2 double elimination games on Saturday, and then Sundays kind of when you just make your run. A lot of years we put ourselves, it's really our own doing. We put ourselves in these spots where we're having to pitch, really important games where either Cam or myself or Sam or Gus, every year we kind of have a new hero, but we're having to put that ace pitcher and that number 2 pitcher in spots where they're pitching Saturday. And then that means Sunday, they're just not at their best. So if we had, Cam and I have kind of solidified ourselves as Cam's the 1, I'm the 2. And if we had a third who was consistent, and that person's probably on the team, to be totally honest with you, if we had a third that was consistently throwing hard strikes, we'd be in a much better spot for Sunday, which I think would probably give us some better results. Do we win? I don't know. I think we make better runs though. Like Cam said, I mean, against HRL, played a really good team. They were defending champions, took them, I don't know, 12 innings, 13 innings. We had to call
we
it
played better than them the entire game. You were out pitching Flack Meat by a long shot.
We put a lot more balls in play. I mean, it was just a great game. And then at the end of it, we wake up Sunday morning to finish the game, and me and Flackney were both dead. We both walked, we both were walking people. And it's if we had that pitcher, that third pitcher, who we could have been like, all right, tomorrow morning we're waking up, we're going to put you in there because we know you're going to throw strikes, we probably win that game. Instead, I made the decision to pitch myself, which ended up being the wrong decision. And we lose the game. It's just the way it works out. And I could name a game like that every single year, because that's what it takes to win that tournament. You have to be perfect. I mean, there's no room for any error, any fault. You got to win the walk-offs. You got to win the games that you shouldn't have won. You got to win the close ones. You got to, make contact against the pitcher that you can't make contact against. That's how you win that tournament. And usually the team with the best pitching prevails. That's usually how it goes. And I think we have the team that can do it. We just need more depth. Honestly, I think Cam, you'd probably agree with that. We just need one or two more guys that can really be depended on to be consistent,
And I think they're on our team too. I think, Sam, Gus, and Jackson all have shown, especially this past year, we've seen them pitch in different leagues and different tournaments. And I think that we've seen them have the potential to have that good stuff, even to be a 2 or a 1. And I think the tournament moving to July this year is actually going to help. I think, Sam's arm's going to be fresh. My arm's going to be fresh. You're going to be fresh. Even Jackson and Gus. But I think that third spot is really going to be a fight from all three of them. And I think they're going to put us in a really good position to make a deep run this year.
Yeah. Yep. It's interesting to hear you guys, talk about that third pitcher when you name 3 guys who've won the Cy Wiffle in our league. 3 guys who are staples, aces on whatever team they're on almost every season. So aside from the speed obviously being completely different, why is fast pitch so much harder? I could say like, oh, it's just coming faster, but there's a lot more movement on the ball. There are different pitches that we don't necessarily see in the SWBL.
The
as a hitter,
reaction time's a huge thing. I mean, the difference between the SWBL and the MWLA, besides the speed, is SWBL is purely offense and it's actually a more defensive league than I think people can realize. But if you look back at the last 8 champions, Brian Kenny or Chris Metter, I think have been on 6 or 7 of the last 8, and there's a reason for that.
I've been preaching.
Defense is huge.
I've been preaching for years.
Yeah. So, but our league is basically on. If you have the best 4 hitters and a really good left fielder, you're going to have a really good shot. NWLA, it's the complete opposite. I mean, you have to put the ball in play. Yeah, you got to score runs. But usually, if you have a stud pitcher and you put 1 run across the plate, you're going to have a really good chance to win. So it really comes down to throwing hard, but throwing strikes. The team that walks the least amount of players is going to probably win. So it comes down to just being able to locate and be consistent with throwing strikes. So we've been able to do that, just not throughout the whole weekend. And part of that is just depth,
always just one pitch, one minor mistake that kills it for us.
And that's why it's such an awesome tournament. And, we're getting older. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to keep doing this. But, if we ever were to win, we're going to be one of those weekends you'll never forget, because you're going to remember every game where this thing went right and this thing went your way. And you got this hit against this amazing pitcher. Because you get to the top 8, every guy you face is a stud. Mm-hmm. And, they can throw lights out, and you just got to kind of get lightning in a bottle. So it would be awesome to win. I would rather win that tournament than anything else that I play in. That's the thing I want.
You've won championships in the SWBL, so it's easy to say, let's go after the thing we haven't done. But if we do win, I am going to campaign so hard for some sort of like victory parade, like you do when you win a World Series at
down
the border. Just like, I don't know, like Mr. Skibby pulling a trailer with you guys on it, just around the
That'd be
field
cool.
with all of us there just partying and celebrating, because that'll
Yeah.
be huge.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Let me say one other thing. I know Cam would probably rather win that other tournament on the East Coast that with the big bets. But for
But
me,
only because there's 10 grand involved.
yeah. Yeah, I know. Trust me, I totally get you there. But for me, like Sam's been going to the NWA since its inception. Chris and Gus, I think, started going the year after that. And I started going the year after that. And it's just been this summer ritual for us for as long as I can remember. You know, we've grown up through our 20s, you know, together doing this. We've flown in, we've driven, we've done whatever it takes to go. And, you know, we got a lot of memories doing that stuff. And there's a lot of time spent at your lowest lows and a lot of time spent at your highest highs. And, you know, if we ever win, it would just be one of the coolest accomplishments of my.
There are videos on our YouTube channel of road trips going to NWLA and just different things kind of behind the scenes of that tournament, that if you get a chance to check it out, go check it out on our YouTube page. But it certainly shows the bond that you guys have created with that tradition.
Yeah, now Cam's included, and there's been so many other people along the way too that we used to bring a team. There was this tournament called the London Tournament when we used to go in Ohio. It was a slow pitch tournament. So we'd bring a team for the fast pitch, we'd bring a couple teams for the slow pitch, and then we'd all share a house and there'd be 15 of us, you know, just hanging out. It's just wiffle ball's done more, you know, for friendships and memories than anything else we've done in our growing up together. So it's really something that
I think that's one of the most the most fun things about the whole weekend is really just spending that whole weekend together and kind of just hanging out and go to Buffalo Wild Wings, have some beers. Like it's a fun time, you know. Even since my first year, it just helped me. I fit in like right away. Like it was right away. We just all clicked, and I felt like I was part of the team, and that helped. And it's just fun that you get to go out and play the next, you know, compete for 2 days. Yeah.
I mean, I'm 30 years old. What 30-year-old that you know out of wiffle ball gets to say that they get to like go compete in something? You know what I mean? Like you're actually competing. It's like, it's special. So win or lose, we want to win obviously, but there's no feeling like competing at a really high level still. Even though I tend to lose in the moments that mean the most, but it's still just awesome. It's such a great feeling, you know, so we live for those moments.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm sure that's fed into a lot of the reason you play in other tournaments and other leagues too, like getting to sort of chase that and continue that feeling throughout the year. You had mentioned the friendships and the bonds and all of that, and we were talking about that within our team, but like I had said earlier, some of the guys that we've brought in that have come in and played have been people we've built relationships with at the NWLA tournament. The Steffi's brothers, you know, I know we had a little bit of
Flackney came in, Jimmy Cole came in.
There was a little bit of an overlap with Flackney, Jimmy. I mean, there was one year that basically my whole team was from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You know, with Zach Artem and his guys. So
Artem,
you know,
Farkas.
Farkas came and played for the Astros 1 year too, and then abruptly retired from wiffle ball and ghosted
everything.
Me.
What'd you do?
Never talked to me again. So if you're out there, Steven, I miss you, buddy. But any new relationships you guys got to build? Any potential people that might be coming from the tournament to come play with us in the SWBL this year? Any hints on that?
I don't know if there's anybody coming this year, but I will say that the connections and the friendships that I've made have been unreal. Like I talked to a lot of these guys all throughout the year. I mean, I talked to Trent all the time. Me and him text about multiple different things, whether it's podcasting or wrestling or whatever. But jerseys, we talk about jerseys a lot.
He's made a lot of jerseys for our league, especially for our team too.
Yeah, but I mean, I've gotten to know the guys from, you know, Mid-Atlantic over the past couple of years. So like when we played them this year, like that was one of like the funnest games I've ever played because I was like playing against my friends and like we ended up winning that game. So it was a sweet feeling, but just being able to like, when we're not even playing, sit on their bench and watch them. And then when they're not playing, they come and sit on our bench and they're talking to us about what we can do better and rooting for us, like it makes a difference. And it's just like, it builds those lifelong friendships that like, I talk to these guys all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, same with me. I mean, we'll probably get into this later, but Cam and I drove to Indy a few times over the summer just to go play wiffle ball with people that we met, hundreds of miles away. And yeah, we were playing wiffle ball, but if we didn't know those guys, we wouldn't have gone. We went because we knew them and they're our friends, and we wanted to see what they were all about. You meet people all over the country, for good or for bad. There's people out there that hate my guts, but there's also people out there that I've made friends with, and that's just part of being in this wiffle ball community. It's kind of a niche community that really no one knows exists unless you're inside of it. It's a really cool thing. So.
Yeah, it's like being a part of Show Dogs or something.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Show Dogs.
Well, so guys, listen to these lists. That these are the leagues or tournaments these guys both play in. Okay, so Spencer plays in obviously the SWBL, plays in the NWLA tournament as we talked about. Plays in MOWIF, which is our brother league right here in town, fast pitch league. The Tata tournament, plays in Circle City, Hometown Cup, and then he also plays in the SWBL Summer League. Cam, along with the SWBL, plays in the NWLA tournament, MOWIF, Circle City, United Wiffle, Hometown Cup, the Summer League for the SWBL, and Mid-Atlantic Wiffle Ball. So first question, guys, what have you bought your wives or spoiled them with to be allowed to play this much wiffle ball?
I got
Go
the
ahead,
perfect
Cam.
answer for both of us. We gave them a
Yes, that's exactly right.
I gave mine too, and there's no way I'm playing that much wiffle ball.
Well, I think Cam's frozen. Hopefully he comes back to us. But he's at least frozen on my screen.
Yeah, he's frozen.
So before this last year,
child.
I never Oh, you back?
Yeah.
You back? Okay. Before this last year, I'd really only played SWBL Summer League and then NWLA tournament and then some charity stuff. But this last year, my wife and she was pregnant. I told her earlier in the year that, hey, we're about to have a kid. I get it. Like once we have a kid, this stuff's going to pretty much stop. So if you're okay with it, I would like to do X, Y, Z. And I almost got to do everything I wanted to do. But I did not get to go to the United Wiffle tournament just because it got really close to my son being born. So I decided not to go. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of, my wife's great. She just said, yeah, go do it because you're not doing it next year. So you might as well do it now. So I got to do it all and hopefully go to United Wiffle this year. I think I might be able to sneak that in. But I'm looking forward to doing the usual stuff. So nationals and SWBL. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I would just say, a huge props to my wife. She knows how much I love wiffle ball. And I mean, it really is like, besides her and our baby, there's like nothing that I enjoy more than playing wiffle ball. So she really lets me get out there and do what I want. And especially, not to like toot my own horn, but I'm at such a high level right now, fast pitch wise, being like national pitcher of the year. It's like, I don't know how many of these years I have left with my arm, and I want to take as much advantage of it as I can. And she kind of knows that. And so she's like,
sure.
All right, I'll let you have your fun right now, but it's not going to last forever. But
that's right. Yeah.
I just appreciate her letting me do all this because I really do just love this game. And I want to keep playing and I want to win.
Yeah.
Me too. And I pretty much take it a year at a time. I know SWBL, like Memorial Day is booked for the next 100 years. Like that's not going away. But everything else, like you just kind of take it a year at a time. It's like, NWLA tournament. Okay, guys, at the end of the tournament, we're like, yeah, next year we're gonna do this, that, and that. And then around like March, okay, guys, are we going again? Like, how's everybody feeling? And then like June, everybody's still feeling okay. Okay, let's do it. That's not a given. Sometime there's going to be a last for that,
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not for a really long time, but fast pitch definitely has a shorter lifespan than medium pitch for obvious reasons. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, Cam,
gotta
you're signed
savor it.
for like another 8 years with me, so you better not lose your arm.
Yeah. I think, hopefully I'll be able to at least throw slow or medium for
Yeah.
as
Oh,
long
wow.
as I want to, but hopefully I still got a couple more good years left on fast pitch. So
Yeah.
I take a lot of good care of my arm now.
I'm hoping for 3. If I can get another 3 years, at some point, like our arms are just, I look at people that are 40 years old. Benware, I don't know how old you are, 35.
I'm 30. What year is this? I'll be 36 this year. Yeah, I'm 30.
Okay,
I'm the oldest.
35.
I'm the oldest active player in the SWBL. If you take out Mr. Skibby,
There's some teams that definitely have older players than the SWBL. Like HRL's got a guy or two, but they're not like starters. They're not guys that play all the time. We're probably the oldest team now that, like, if you take the combined starters age and
medium
average it
age,
out,
yeah.
we're probably 1 or 2. I mean, there might be someone that's older, but I think we're probably up there. Sam is 34.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. And the rest of us are 30,
Yeah, I'll be 30 this year.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Jackson would be your youngest player, right?
Jackson would be our youngest, but he's kind of in between a start. I'm just talking kind of like the 4 or 5 players, but yeah. So we're getting up there, most of the teams that, are elite are in their 20s. So
yeah.
You never
Well,
know.
I mean, you think about even looking at, like, you can see sort of some of that in the SWBL to an extent, right? Like some guys who have been, just year in, year out all-stars, they have more often they have down years than they used to. They just don't bounce back. It's funny to hear the guys who are 30 now talking about on Sunday, like how sore they are and tired they are. And I'm like, bro, I've been here for half a decade. It's just funny to hear that a little bit. Because I didn't start, I was 28, 27 when I started. So I was way beyond when most people started in the SWBL. But so let's talk a little bit, just kind of an overview, just so the listeners know a little bit about these leagues. We'll just kind of bounce back and forth. Just give me an overview, where it's at, what kind of style it is, if it's for charity, what the charity's for. But let's start with MOIF. Cam, I know you're a huge ambassador for that. Are you a co-commissioner?
I'm not I'm like Josh Rogers is the commissioner. I am the executive vice president, I guess, is the fake official title that we gave myself. But Josh runs all basically the entire league. But it's me and me and him are, he kind of texts me like, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and I'm like, it's a lot of times it's my decision to like, hey, all right, let's send this to the group. Like, this is what we need to discuss, or like, no, I don't agree. Maybe we do this, but
sounding board.
So, but me and Josh do that. And then with all of our 8 captains, we kind of all do it together. Like we make those decisions together. So it's not just me and Josh making decisions saying, hey, this is what we think is best for the league. Like it's a group effort. So, but yeah, we're in Chesterfield, we got a couple weeks left of registration. So if anybody is looking to get out there and play some more football, this year's gonna be a lot different. It's not gonna be all just fast pitch down your throat. It's gonna be fast pitch, and then if you get walked, you're gonna have an opportunity to take an at bat like you would in SWBL, but you just have a bigger bat. So you're gonna get chances to hit. Last year the hits were tough to come by, but this year there's gonna be a lot more hitting. There's gonna be a lot more action. It's going to be a lot more fun. We practiced with the rules a little bit at the All-Star game, and we had a blast. So if you haven't, check out that video because it's a lot of fun.
Sweet. Spencer, the Tata Tournament. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we've been going that for 6 years. Sam Skibby and I have been going for 6 years. It's a charity tournament in August. There's 84 teams. 3-inning games. There's all these rich guys. There's 12 rich guys that all live next to each other, all neighbors, and they use their backyards as a bunch of fields, and they invite all their friends. There's 300 guys.
Wow.
Big fundraiser for breast cancer. And teams of 3, you play 3 innings, got to have a new pitcher every inning. So it's kind of about depth. And we won the first 4 years, and then they made a rule that Sam and I couldn't play at the same time just for our team because we kept winning. So we have not won the last 2 years. So we invited our dads to play on the team. So our dads play with us. And, when our dads are, we love our dads, but they're just not the wiffle ball players we are. So usually there's an inning where one of our dads pitches and, it just doesn't go well. So, but we have fun, raise a lot of money. And 4 out of 6 years isn't bad.
Yeah,
So.
it's pretty awesome. It's an awesome just tournament, awesome fundraiser. Circle City Camp. Tell me about that. What's that all about?
Oh man, that was a league we both played in, and I personally had a lot of fun. I know I made it there a few more times than Spencer did.
At the Indy one?
It's in Indianapolis, yeah, right, like pretty much down 5-10 minutes away from downtown Indianapolis. They play on the dirt yard, which is one of the best fields in the country. The rules are very similar to the NWA tournament. Except, they have the walk rule where if you drew a walk, you got the option to take the base or you get like a lob pitch. Yellow bats, they have a bucket of balls that you use. It was a fun league though. I really enjoyed it. Got to play on the Mid-City Moonshots and we won the championship. We beat Spencer's team, even though Spencer didn't play in the finals. But I did.
Could not make it.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. It was like I think a 3.5 hour drive for me. I think I went up there like 3 times. Had a blast. Actually, really connected with those guys, and I still talk to them. And really just had a good time. Dudas is a great job. He does a great job running that league, and it helped here too because it helped just learn a lot about running a league. And just kind of seeing what they put into it and what we can bring back here.
He's a great guy too, more than anything.
He's a big Cardinals fan.
Solid human. Yep.
Sweet. Hometown Cup, Spencer.
Yeah, so this was my first year playing in that. Kevin Pulley, Scott Pulley, Gus Skibby, and Sam Skibby had a team 2 years ago, and Sam could not go this year because of the birth of his daughter, although he still tried to find a way to go, even though she was a week old. So I filled in his place, and basically it's a slow pitch tournament. Cam and Josh, they had a team that went up there, a couple of MoWiv guys, and it's a slow pitch tournament. It's very simple, but it's harder than you think, as weird as that sounds. There's some teams that have mastered slow pitch wiffle ball. The way that they pitch, you're, I don't know, can't wait, 15 feet away from the plate when you pitch, and you gotta loft it in there, and they do knuckleballs, and it's really fun though. It's kind of like a 45-degree angle field. It's not like your traditional baseball field, but there's a fence and there's yellow bats and a white ball, and just a good time. I would encourage. That's a tournament that we should easily be sending like 5 or 6 teams to, easily. Okay. It's so fun.
Absolutely.
Hang out. Realistically, it's going to be so hard to win. It's like the same Final Four every year. I mean, could we win? Maybe, but it's just a fun time. It's a really fun time. Everyone's hanging out. Probably go to Buffalo Wild Wings at night, just like usual.
Yeah.
That's a good time. So
I'll say when we went, I told my wife, I was like, this is one tournament I probably go to one time, see what it's about. And I came back home and I was like, I'm going next year.
Next year.
I had so much fun. We our team rented out an Airbnb and had a blast at that. And we just really I was a pitcher and I was exhausted. I probably was more tired in that after the slow pitch tournament than I was at NWLA because I was running around because it's pitcher's poison. So whenever the pitcher gets the ball, the play's dead.
And the pitcher can run. The pitcher can run to left field and catch it, and then the play's dead. There's no mound. It's just it's a weird.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was running after every ground ball to get it before they get to first base. So I was tired. Fun fact: if we would have won our last game, I think it was the round of 32, we would have actually played Spencer's team.
Yeah.
We both ended up losing to Colt West, who's a very, very good team.
Yeah, they were good. Just bombs. Just hit bombs.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Sweet. Spencer, talk a little bit about the summer league. I'm sure a lot of our guys know about it, but maybe our fans don't
Yeah.
know about
Summer League. It's very similar to SWBL, except there's two really main differences. Well, there's three main differences. Difference number one, teams are picked out of a hat. All the players are put into different tiers, so the teams are fair, but they're picked out of a hat. Pretty cool, random. Get to play with new people you probably never would have played with before. So that's a really cool part. Second thing is there's no base running except a first. Just try to save the grass, no injuries. We're all getting older anyways. So, that's a pretty cool aspect. The third thing is there's this power-up menu where you can pay to do power-ups. So one example is, you could pay $10 and the team has to bat opposite. If they're right-handed, they have to bat left-handed for the whole inning, or, home runs or outs, or there's different things. Really, Summer League is a way for people to stay active, get to meet new people, and a way for the league to make money, fundraise, not to make profit, but like to fundraise and raise money for the season that's coming up. So
yeah, well,
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've had some guys come that didn't play in the SWBL.
Yeah,
we had
it's a good taste.
A rookie class, right, where they come in and they play on. Everybody plays on a different team. We had a guy come up from, was it Texas or Oklahoma?
Arkansas. He traveled four different times. God bless him.
He was on my team. I've forgotten his name, but
he's coming to play MoWIF next year.
Is he really?
Yeah.
That's a diehard Whiffler.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah, he may have to move closer, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's from the Northeast. That's the craziest part is we met him through Fast Pitch, and then he moved to Arkansas, and we were like the closest Whiffball league. So
yeah, well, he has family that lives here too, so he stays with them.
Yeah,
so
makes
it easier.
So, all right, and then talk about Ma Cam.
Man, that was I went to opening day tournament last year. Had a lot of fun. It's in the guy's backyard. He has 3 fields. It's a fast pitch, very similar to pretty much almost identical to United Wiffle. And it's if you're looking at like fast pitch team wise, like these are the best teams in a league, not just in not besides a tournament. Like these are the best league teams in a tournament. It is a lot of fun. The talent they have up there is just crazy. I went with Grant Miller, Mike Hogan, and Evan Sibbett, Kalamazoo guys and HRL, and we did pretty well. We made it to like a playing game. We ended up losing. I pitched my first game. I pitched a I believe it was a no hit shutout. Won my first game, and then my next game, I gave up a home run to Wiffle Boy 28, Sean Steffi. Anybody who watches like YouTube videos on like how to pitch, like if you sit on YouTube and just Google how to pitch, like that's the guy you're gonna find. He hit a line drive missile over the fence off me, and he pitched against me, struck me out. So like that's pretty cool. But a lot of fun. Big tournament. Hopefully I can make it to one of those events this year.
Yeah, sweet. Well, as you guys can tell, they play a lot of wiffle ball over the year. But it's really cool to have ambassadors from our league go out and play in these tournaments, whether they're for charity or other leagues that may be happening. I know that, I'm always proud when I see you guys representing the SWBL out there and when Cam wins National Pitcher of the Year or there's a highlight video of Spencer on Sports Center. It's like, yeah, that's my guy, even though I don't play with Spencer, but he's my guy, in that moment. It's really cool. So, all right, we're going to move on to our final segment, and I'm still trying to think of a name. I know, Spencer, you've thought of some creative names of segments and different things like what's your percentage?
Great game. We should bring that back sometime.
Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe
hey, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to take a hold of that and run with it.
All right. I'm calling this, I don't know. Right now I wrote down podcast poison, like pitcher's poison, but podcast poison. Mostly what it is it's 5 different questions. Most of this has been kind of unknown but these are going to be maybe somewhat wiffle ball related, maybe somewhat not. So just kind of random questions, mostly to try to let the audience get to know you guys a little bit better too. So Spencer, what is your fondest memory from the past SWBL seasons? You've had quite a few.
Well, you could list, I could probably list 50 things. We've been fortunate enough to win a couple of championships together. But my favorite part about the SWBL weekend is it used to be the skibby hot tub on Monday after everything's done. We clean up the field. Everyone starts going home. There's like 7 or 8 of us that used to hang out in the skibby hot tub. Now it's moved to the skibby swimming pool where we just hang out and we talk about, we make up like fake rumors like, hey, did you hear Scott Pulley's going to the Expos? Or did you hear, did you hear Gus is going to the A's? Or we just like, everyone just makes up rumors and we laugh and we have a great time and we stay too long and smoke cigars. That's honestly, it's crazy to say because it has nothing to do with playing wiffle ball, but it's one of the best parts of the weekend is that Monday afternoon, just hanging out. One other thing I'll mention is there was a season where Kevin Pulley, Scott, myself, Gus, and Sam, we kind of did like this like late night skibby wiffle ball thing where we would do the late night recap show. We would do like a live production and we'd do interviews and segments. And Kevin Pulley, God bless him, he'd stay up so late and it would probably affect him the next day because he stayed up so late. But we had some late nights where we'd be up real late, just working on stuff and just putting in the time. But no one works harder than Kevin and Sam during the weekend. But probably, just hanging out in the pool, just hanging out with everybody. That's really like, 20 years from now, I'm not going to remember who won what game or what was your batting average or, what record did you set or who knows, like whatever it is. Like I'm going to remember hanging out in the pool, smoking cigars or having my son there next year, having him in the pool. Like
big moment.
It's a family thing for me now. And that's really what it all is. That's why it's lasted so long, is because everyone's friends, that's why that's what it is. That's the best part about it. So just all the friendships and memories.
Cam, same question.
Yeah. I actually, to touch on Spencer, I actually stuck around with him at the end of last year. And I think we were just sitting on the patio even. Yep. And like, it really was just a blast, but along the similar lines, one of my favorite things is beer darts. I'm gonna miss Trent and Austin this year. I think we had a video last year like Trent had a dart stuck in his shoe. it's so much fun. It's one of those things where we're like Spencer said, we're not even playing, we're not on the field, like we don't remember every game that we won or lost. It's more about those connections and those bonds and all those natter days that we put down.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's the best part.
What are you looking most forward to in season 20?
Well, obviously repeating as champions. Screw the friendships. Screw the friendships. Forget everything I just said.
You got to sign back with the Twins to do that, buddy.
I got to be honest with you. I know this is like, if I resign with the Twins, winning is a very important thing to me. If I resign with the Twins, I gotta be honest with you. I know this is gonna come back to haunt me, but I'm looking around, like I don't see too many like teams that I'm just like fearful of. So I gotta tell you, like I'm looking forward to repeating. Here's my bold prediction.
All right.
Yikes. It's all right. I got some
two Astros on.
Yeah, I got some championship experience from summer league. I'm gonna bring that to the Astros this year for sure.
Well, and it's funny you say that, but Sam and I were talking, and we say this every year, but it seems like the competition gets better every year.
Yeah.
But
it really does.
Legit, like there aren't like a whole lot of teams where you can just completely like, nah, that's a like pencil in a win.
Yeah.
We're good. Like the Marlins are getting better. Who knows what's going to happen with the Expos, but they're only a year removed from winning a championship. The A's have been right there. I mean, there were 7 runs away from being in the playoffs.
It used to be 4 teams every year, pencil them in for the playoffs. Doesn't matter who shows up. These are the teams. And now legitimately, we have 9 teams.
Yeah.
Now legitimately it's 8 teams where you just don't know. I mean, the Marlins are always going to be bad. So can't do anything about that. But as long as you have Luke Bacchio on your team, I mean, you're probably gonna struggle. So
Yeah. Cam, what are you looking forward to?
I'm really just looking forward to just hanging out with everybody and really seeing what the Astros can do this year. You know, we lost a big player from last year, but I think a couple of us are going to have a breakout year. And you know, we had a little bit of playoff taste in our mouth from last year, and you know, we're going to bring that back this year too.
Yeah, we were close too. We, lost by 2 runs to the Yankees. Because we
We had a slow start.
We dug ourselves a hole and we came back and got close, but couldn't get over the finish line. They're a good team too. So, we kind of, you guys kind of mentioned this earlier, and I don't know how many people caught it, but you're both new fathers, both had your first child this year.
Sure.
So in general, what's the best part of being a father?
I'll go first. My son will be 9 weeks old on Saturday, and his name's Michael.
Still counting weeks.
He's 9 weeks, almost 9 weeks. I'm counting weeks.
Yeah.
It's funny. I always used to be the guy like, just tell me months, don't tell me weeks. And then you're going to be the month guy. We're like, well, he's 19 months. Just tell me the years. But he's will be 9 weeks old. And I tell you what, like when he was born,
for everybody to know, what's his name?
Michael. And when he was born, I didn't even think about this, but he was born at night. It was Saturday night. Texas lost to Kansas in football, like 10 minutes before he was born. It was a terrible sports night for me. But I remember when he was born and he came out, and, I was counting his toes. Like, I was emotional, counting his toes and making sure that he was alive, just every bad thought enters your mind. And, the nurse, you guys both know this, the nurse, the doctors, everyone leaves. It's just you and your wife with your baby. And my wife's trying to nurse our son, who's been alive for 15 minutes. And I'm sitting in the chair, and it just hit, like, my whole son's life flashed before my eyes, where it's just, oh my God, I'm a dad, and I have this thing where, we're going to have practices and teacher conferences, and he's going to have his heart broken, like all these emotions. And since that moment, it's just like this total new world where he's still just a pooping and shitting machine. That's all he does. But I'll end it with this. 2 weeks ago, he started smiling, and I tell you what, like, he starts smiling, you're done, like everything. You thought you loved something more, but I just love him more and more every day. My wife and I are just so blessed and happy to have him. He's just, he's perfect in every way and everything we could ever dream of. So super thrilled. It's just been a great experience so far.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I got to second it, but we, Spencer, you said, you did now count the weeks, man. I'll tell you what, I lost count already.
Yeah.
She's almost 4 months old, which is crazy. Time just flies. And, but man, it's been such a blessing. And almost to, you're not there yet, but one of my favorite things is her laugh. Like, she's getting to that point where she's now laughing at the dog. Jordan will just be holding her, and the dog will just come running by when I get home. He's all excited, and she's just giggling and just like actually laughing at something instead of just like laughing or like a small little chuckle. Like, it's just the coolest moment. And Jordan loves it, and I love watching them two together. Like, that is one of my favorite things. Jordan is just such an amazing mom, and that's one of my favorite things. Like, it honestly, just watching their bond, and then like being able to just like hold her and like her like just sleep with her head on my chest. Like, she got the flu last week. Like, she had her first week of daycare and then got the flu. Like, everyone at daycare got the flu. It sucks. Like, I got the flu. Like, it was bad. Like, me and her out of commission. Like, it was so bad. And mom was just a warrior carrying us through. But we long nights, but like just her just laying there, like, made it all worth it. Like, it's like you don't even think about all those bad times. Like, everything just goes away, and it really is just like a feeling unlike anything else.
Yeah. And tell everybody your daughter's name.
Her name is Delaney Rose. Her middle name is after my grandma. So
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, it only gets better, guys. Like, it's awesome. You'll miss the times, like you'll look back and they're two and you're like, man, like it's weird. Like all the things your dad and mom ever said to you, like
Yeah.
it was like just yesterday. It's like, it really does. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
my daughter was putting on a show for us last night and just dancing around the living room. And I was staring at her just like, you're 5. Like, you're 5 years old. Like, how did that happen? It's crazy, but it's amazing. It's the most fulfilling thing. And I'm super pumped for you guys.
Yeah,
And
I mean, just yesterday,
yesterday,
she's her first tooth popping out. Like it's
about to get worse, actually.
It's going so fast. I'm already watching Disney princess movies.
There you go.
Disney Plus is a must-have for all new dads.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Everything changes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm super pumped for you guys. It's awesome. It's so fun to see the league grow in that way too, because we've talked about how it has always been a family atmosphere, and now it's, the players have families, which is so cool to watch grow.
Right.
And the picture is so cool. The league picture we take every year, it's so cool to see how that evolves every year. So
yeah.
Next question. Give me a New Year's resolution for your team. And Spencer, we'll just go with the Twins for now, since that was the team you played on most recently. And it's an interesting take for you, since you already won a championship multiple times. But give me.
Am I saying it for myself or for my team?
For your team.
So not for myself. New Year's resolution for my team, other than, winning a championship. I think that's an easy thing to say. I think it would be to have someone from our team win a Cy Wiffle. That's the Twins have never had a Cy Wiffle winner. Will has finished second, I think 3 times. He's been so close. And I think, I'm not saying this is true, but I think it's easy to judge Will in a bad light because he's left-handed and he throws the exact same pitch every time. And I think voters may think of, well, maybe he needs more creativity, or maybe he needs to do this, that, and the other. Will's a great pitcher. And it doesn't, if he throws left-handed and that throws people off, then good for Will,
It's a tough pitch to hit.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying he should have won any of those years. I'm just saying he was voted second, so he's damn close. So my New Year's resolution is for Will or Edlo or myself or anyone to win a Cy Wiffle. I think it'd be pretty cool. We've won, I think someone on our team's won just about every other award. So that's what we're looking for. So
the only other thing I would think that you could potentially say is like a fully undefeated season. Nobody's done that in the past.
The Royals did it, but then they lost.
But then they lose in the playoffs. Yeah.
Yep.
So nobody has won the whole thing.
Yeah.
So Cam, what's your New Year's resolution for the Astros?
Last year we made it to the playoffs for the first time, and we got close. And I think the perfect resolution this year is to win that first playoff game. Each year we've kind of taken it one step farther, and eventually we'll keep going. And I think that's just where we got to start. We got to really put our foot down and get that first win under our belt. And who knows what happens after there, but starts with that first playoff win. But before we get that playoff win, we got to get back to the playoffs. So one game at a time, and we'll be hungry. We'll be fighting. That's for sure.
For sure. All right. Last question, guys. What was your favorite? So let me preface this. We've got 2 new teams, the White Sox and the Orioles. I'm looking forward to seeing what Kevin comes up with from a logo standpoint for those 2 new teams. So give me your favorite logo from a past team or present team, current team. What's your favorite logo that we've had for a team in the SWBL?
That's a good question. I'm gonna fire up the old Twitter machine or
I'm pulling it up right now.
I'm gonna pull it up. So Benware, why don't you tell everyone about our sponsors?
Well, I don't know all of them. There's a lot of them. But again, 1350, it's not good. 1356 is our presenting sponsor, 1356 Public House. We have Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We
Edit
have
that out.
Cardinal Blinds and Shutters as a division sponsor. We have Ketting Eye Associates as a division sponsor. We have Corner Pub and Grill as a
they're
division
back.
sponsor.
Okay,
They're back as a division sponsor.
great.
Which I don't think's been announced yet, but breaking news. And our charity is Reuben Brown, who is now sponsoring home runs instead of strikeouts.
Yep.
So they're donating money for every home run that's hit. And I believe Dick's Sporting Goods will be giving us coupons again. And Andy's Frozen Custard was a sponsor over the summer for Summer League.
Yep.
So
Glad
Cam,
you
what do you
guys
think
spent
about
some money
logos?
Since haven't gotten that yet.
all time logos,
I'll while you guys look, I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
mean, the Brewers 6-pack was pretty legit.
That's what I was just about to say.
I don't know why it is, but I love the Yankees logo. Which
I was
Uncle
gonna
Sam,
say it.
like-
Yep, that's it.
So last year when I was editing a lot of the videos from not this past season, because most of those are streamed, but the year before, I did a lot of intro videos. So I was like basically putting these logos on intro videos for every video over and over and over and over. And for whatever reason, the Yankees logo just always stuck out to me. It was so cool with the Uncle Sam. That is probably my favorite logo that he's made so far.
Yeah. I think the Brewers, I think that's the GOAT of logos. But I'm going to give you two teams that don't exist anymore as my others. I don't know if either of you are around for the Giants. Do you remember the Giants?
No,
I was looking at that.
The Los Gigantes. I was not. That was
That's
Cam
pretty damn cool.
Branson yeah, wasn't that Cam Branson
I don't
and,
think they ever won a game.
No.
0-10. Cam Branson, Dave Menny, Mark Menny, Rob Walters, and
Rob
Kevin
Walters.
Wheatucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my other one that I think is simple but super creative actually is the
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
the
gonna say
Diamondbacks.
for sure.
Diamondbacks, man.
Cool.
Look at that. It's a snake, covering the egg, protecting the nest. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
I think that's great because Kevin's done a great job with all the other logos, but most of the other logos that he puts the wiffle ball kind of in the ones that have been retired. It's just kind of in there, but they're all great. They're all super cool. The Marlins one's pretty neat.
Yeah, logo of the year
I
last
think
year.
It won logo of the year.
The Twins, they got the Twins with bucket hats. Pretty cool.
Or
Yeah,
Converse.
Yeah,
Shout
that's probably last on the list, honestly.
Yeah.
Shout out to the bucket hats.
Yeah. Did the Phillies ever have a logo?
I think that was the year,
The year
before we did
right?
logos.
Yeah.
And I think Chris was told like, hey, if you're ever gonna switch team names, you gotta do it now because everyone's getting a logo and you can't
Yeah.
change it after that. So I think that's why he did it. So
Yeah, I would say the Brewers and the Yankees are my top two for sure.
Brewers for sure. That's gonna
Yeah.
go down as
You can't beat beer. Like
Yeah,
there's
can't beat the
sorry.
Brewers. Yep.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you being on with me and talking a little bit of the national scene and letting the audience get to know you guys a little bit better. We're going to be putting out another episode in hopefully 2 weeks, looking at a potential origin story. So stay tuned for that.
Love it.
We're going to have a top 20 review once all of that is finalized. And then we're going to be leading into, the division draw is coming up. The draft is coming up. And we'll start getting into our team previews and captain interviews. So
Is Sam doing a top decade team? A decade team or
I don't know. He hasn't mentioned it, but it'll definitely be a question I'll ask him.
ask him.
Because
I think you mentioned something to
absolutely
me.
should do an all decade team.
You should do it on the
That's a great idea.
although through 21. Yeah, I think it's almost been 10 years of the franchise era. I don't know. Talk to him about it. Sorry.
Either way, I mean, how many leagues can say they have an all decade team?
True.
And this could be our
Or a
second one.
2-decade team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely a cool idea. So anyway, a lot of content coming toward you, coming your way in the next year. So just stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun, and Looking forward to seeing everybody on Memorial Day weekend for season 20. Thank you
Great.
guys for coming. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I want to throw one more quick thing.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out I don't know when you guys are posting this, but this weekend on Saturday, Ben Schaefer, his YouTube channel, Wiffle Statement, one of the best wiffle ball recap videos or video editor guys. He's actually coming out with a Just Whiffs episode featuring myself. So be sure to check it out. It's gonna be really
Fun.
cool. And then also go listen to the Mo Whiff 3 Up 3 Down podcast with me and Adam North. Gotta give it a shout out.
All right.
So.
This is a Skibby Wiffle Ball League podcast.
Hey, no, we're all
Go
friends.
check
We're all
that out
friends.
later. All right.
So
Anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate it. Have a great night.
thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank
Thank
you.
you. Peace.